So, hi everybody. My name is Kyle Martin with Visual Dynasty Productions, and today I am here with.
I am Shawna Fitzgerald, also with Visual Dynasty Productions. We are here with
Erin Lopez, the author of Call Me Crazy, but at least he called.
So today Erin is our special guest. She is here to share her story and guide us through her life through the book that she's written. Erin, I just wanted to preface this that this is not really more like an interview. We actually just here to just relax, kick it and vibe, and we just talk.
Mm-hmm.
So be as comfortable as you please. Both Shawna and I are just gonna probably just fire off questions based off what you tell us, and we just take it from there.
Sound like interviews.
Interviews can be boring. They can also be stressful.
Exactly. So we just have a conversation.
Yeah.
we just have a conversation, we just converse so back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do want to know though. He called me crazy. Called me crazy, but at least he called. Where did that come from?
Call me crazy, but at least he called. So I'm only 30, but I've been through some crazy situations.
You don't look 30.
I put myself in crazy situations. I've been called crazy. Crazy things happen to me, but that doesn't define who I am. And God can still call me. God can still use me. He can still bless me. I can still help other people despite the craziness.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from.
It's fire.
Thank you.
I haven't seen many titles throughout the books I've read that kind of sticks to you like that one.
Someone told me that they bought the book just because of the title. They're like, "Ooh, what you talking about?"
I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
Yeah. So that's where that came from.
So what I would say, I want to know like what happened in life that kind of gave you the inspiration to say I'm going to tell my life through a book.
Lord. What gave me the inspiration? So because I've been through some things, I felt like while I was going through that, I didn't have anyone. I felt like I was by myself and I was the only one going through it. So this book is kind of like what I needed when I was going through that. And I felt like I can be that voice for other people that feel like they're alone or feel like, they're dealing with situations and no one can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate to a lot.
We're talking about depression, anxiety, the whole 9 yards.
Yep. And the suicidal thoughts, child molestation, stress, just being abused emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to a lot.
Sure. Gosh. So I will basically say, I know you said that, you helping other people. What you've been through is a story, basically, for your book.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to, because of the lessons that you learned, you're able to let someone else know that may be going through the same situations that you've been through, that they're going to be okay.
For sure. 100%.
I know that it's a storm in the process, but always remember that there's light at the end of the storm.
Exactly. I said that in the dedication, I think. I dedicated it to anyone who has ever had a suicidal thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even when we can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, my purpose for writing the book is just, I don't want people to give up on themselves. Because it's easy to go through things and be like, just throw in the towel. I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But things are always going to get better. So.
Did you ever think about being an author for real?
Tell
the truth.
Being an author for real. So I talk about that in my book, actually. But when I was younger, I always wanted to write a book. But I didn't know that, that was my purpose. I didn't know that's what I was supposed to do. And then when I got older, I felt like I was just existing and not living. And so one day I just prayed to God, why am I here? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? And I felt like he told me to write. And so I just woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, just started typing, and voila.
So as somebody who actually has started his own personal writing journey, because I know I write scripts and I write stories,
Mm-hmm.
I want to know from your personal experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about all of the writing hiccups that you've gone through putting this together.
So the one that sticks out the most, okay, so like I said, when I was younger, I started writing, but I didn't know that was like a thing. Like that's not what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, I would write, but then when it got to like the heavy parts and like parts that just made me cry and just feel things, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Like, forget that. So as an adult, when I'm writing, and I was getting into it, like even though I felt some type of way and I was getting like just icky, like, I can't believe this happened to me, I still was pushing through it and I still was writing. And one day, everything just shut down. My whole laptop shut down. And I turned it back on and everything was gone. I was like on chapter 6. I was on chapter 6 and everything was gone and I cried. And I was like, God, you told me to write this book. Like, why would you do that? Like, why is everything gone? And I had this mentor, shout out to Theo, because he did my cover, and his wife, she was kind of like walking me through it and mentoring me. She's written a couple books herself. And she told me, she's like, don't freak out, which it was already too late because I was freaking out. And she was like, the first time that I was writing it, she was like, the words were coming from a place of hurt.
Okay.
This next time that you have to write it, because you have no choice because it's gone, it's going to come from a place of healing. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
But yeah, that was the worst.
Was it really from a place of hurt though?
It was. Like, me finishing the book, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. I felt like I felt healed. I felt like I'm good now. But like, as I was writing it the first time, I was hurt. And I was like, I can't believe this happened to me. I can't believe it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was mad but the second time I had to write it, I was just like, okay.
So aside from what your mentor was telling you, when you wrote it the second time, what was like some of the biggest changes you felt as you was writing it?
I wasn't as emotional. I was more so, like the second time I wrote it, I was more so in a space where I was like, I felt like I was helping people. I felt like the person that I needed when I was going through that. But the first time I wrote it, it was like, I was emotional. I was literally crying. I was shaking when I was writing it. I was just like, yeah.
Sounds like the intent changed.
The intent changed?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. And I didn't know it at the time. Like, I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can say that.
You know, because you brought up your purpose, right? Like, you asked God for your purpose and turned out to be writing your book. Was there like a big aha moment for when it comes to talking about purpose? Because I know trying to find one's purpose is like a really big deal in, you know, everybody's everyday life. And I know because I was in a conversation with my brother at a time, and he kind of like had it click for me. It's like, sometimes your passion is not your purpose. Sometimes your passion can help you get to your purpose, or it can push your purpose, but it's not your purpose. And and it's okay, but that's something you may have to, that's a pill you may have to swallow.
Yeah. So I do have a passion for writing, and I don't necessarily think that writing is my purpose. I think sharing my testimony and helping people who have been through similar situations, I think that's my purpose.
Okay.
And the aha moment for me was, I wanted to like go on a fast. I set my alarm. I tried. Listen.
I can't do that.
Listen.
I can't look. We on the same wavelength when it comes to food. I'm telling you.
We're on the same wavelength when it comes to food, but I really wanted to figure this thing out because I'm like, why am I here? Like, I need to figure out what God wants me to do. And so I set my alarm. I was gonna wake up 5 o'clock in the morning every day, just pray, you know, get before God, like, what do you want me to do? And then the very first day of the fast, I was woken up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, you're joking. Like, and I just kept hearing in my head, right. So I just opened my laptop and got to writing.
Hey.
Yeah, that was an aha moment for me because, first of all, I didn't want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's start there. I set the alarm for 5 o'clock. I'm like, God, I got a couple more hours. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, it was all for a good purpose.
And the song say you made that clearly when you want him to.
Okay, but he's always right on time.
Always right on time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
No, but your book hits a lot of notes. Like I know we was talking about this before we started rolling, but there were some points in the book where I felt like I was starting to get pissed because of the certain things that I encountered in your book, where I was like, not because I may have personal experiences from that, but because I know people who have had their personal experiences and they shared them with me, and because of my morals and values and how I view people, I was like, this a lot's happened in that book. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in the book. Y'all gotta figure that out yourself. But a lot of the time I was like, yo, like, I know we don't really hang out like that, but I was like, yo, I'm about to come to your aunt's place. This was some nasty things. And I know I also brought this up before, but it's like, it's usually the people who smile the most that always have probably the most troubling experiences.
Just my entire life has been me hiding behind my smile. Because that's what people see. They think I'm so happy. They think I'm so positive. She's amazing.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
But behind the smile was darkness and hurt and pain and just craziness. But it's definitely triggering for a lot of people. But I'm glad that people, like, when they read it, they feel me. Like, they feel where I'm coming from. It's not just words on a paper. Like, grown men have cried reading my book. Seriously. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but thank you. Like, So yeah.
Can you share one of those experiences with the class?
One of the experiences, like what? Like what I've been through?
Yeah.
Or?
That really highlighted being in the darkness, being alone, being in the state of mind where you felt like maybe suicide was the only place to go, where depression was.
I can't pinpoint just one. There's a lot. The book is heavy, but
the book is heavy.
The book is really heavy. Just certain things, like when I was 6, I thought the guy that was raising me, I thought that was my dad, and he told me he wasn't my dad. And so now in my mind, I'm like, well, first of all, why are you telling me that? Like, do you not want to be my dad anymore? And then I'm like, well, where's my real daddy? Why he ain't here?
Right.
And then, shortly after that, my mom had gotten married. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be my dad. And then he molested me when I was 8 years old. So, yeah, it's very not okay. And it put me in a dark space. And I didn't tell my mom until I was like 18. Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to hold that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of layers. So speaking of layers, as you were pulling these out, I guess I can't say how many layers you pulled off, but did you see how the layers went from thick to thin?
Yeah. As I pulled back the layers, as I wrote the book, as it's helping other people, it helped me. Like, I released everything. Nobody could say anything about me, anything about my past, anything about the things I've been through. Like, I own it. I own every single thing that happened to me. I've forgiven the people that needed to be forgiven. Doesn't mean that we're buddy-buddy. Doesn't mean that I have to, have Sunday dinner with you, but I forgive you. And I talk a lot about how your abuser's trauma doesn't justify them abusing you.
Exactly.
Like, the things that happened to me, those people, like, y'all, they was messed up in the head. But that's no excuse. Like, so I'm good now. Like, you can say whatever you want, call me crazy, but I'm good. Like,
Book title.
Okay.
Yeah, look at y'all.
Shameless plug. But yeah, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
And you're a mom now. I mean, you're a mom now.
Been a mom for a long time. My son will be 9. Oh my gosh.
So, because you're a mom now and you've been through so much that an 8-year-old child all the way up to 18, even past that, shouldn't have to go through. But now that you've gone through it, now the coin is kind of flipped now. You are now in the parent position, and now you have 2 boys to look after, 2 boys to raise, to teach. How does all of this kind of guide and shape you when it comes to being a parent?
Talking about babies, I got chills. So I made a promise to myself. I seen something online that said, my kids will never have to walk on my broken pieces. And that's why I wanted to do the healing, because I don't want my kids to ever feel like what I felt like at that age, like all the way until like from 6 years old. That's the first time I felt broken. 6, that's young. Like, I have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I'm like, I never want them to feel like that. I have talks with them, about there are no places, who should touch you, or, and my kid will say, well, just mommy and daddy, and they're giving me a bath, and that's it. And the 8-year-old, no, you give yourself a bath, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so I had those conversations. Like, when I was younger, no one had those conversations with me. And if you thought something, or you felt like you needed to, like, it was never brought up. I know when I was 18 and I told my mom that I was molested at 8, the first thing she said to me was, I knew it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
And she just
what?
I said, what you mean you knew it?
Wow.
And she would see him come out my room, and but she was on drugs at the time. That's no excuse. But she was on drugs at the time, and he convinced her that every time she saw him come out my room, he convinced her that she was dreaming.
Oh, the gaslighting.
Yeah.
Oh.
He convinced her that it was a dream. But who I am right now, and the type of mother I am right now, if I thought I was dreaming, we are going to talk about the dream. Is it real? Like, what is anybody touching you? And that never happened. I never had those conversations when I was younger. So I make sure to have those conversations with my kids.
So you're extra protective of your children.
For sure.
Situation.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah. Understood.
If they spend a night somewhere, we're doing background checks. I need to figure out Yeah.
No, I think that's very important, because we're now entering, a time in life where, how can I say this properly, right, without stepping on toes? Well, who cares?
Hey.
But we're now in a time where things like this is becoming more glorified and encouraged than anything. And I remember back when I was younger, that when things like that happened, you was always on hush hush. Like, you can't talk about it, you can't speak about it. We'll talk about it later, but later never comes. Or even with women, when certain people come over, you gotta put on different clothes. You gotta cover up some more. And it's like, why has that not been explored yet? Why has that not been unpacked? Why do the child have to do the extra steps rather than correcting the parent, or rather than correcting the adult for the behavior that's been going on?
It's so sad. It's literally sad. I stayed quiet for 10 years because I'm like, what's gonna happen if I tell? And then at 18 years old, I told him nothing happened. Like, what was the point? Yeah.
So your brother. Tell me about your relationship with you and your brother.
Now?
Yes.
My relationship with my brother is amazing. I love my brother. When we were younger, I just thought that he was replacing me with his cousin. But yeah, everything's good now. They're kind of.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I know it was one of the stories that I read in it where you, a bunch of boys were coming to fight, and you made him run home.
Oh God!
It reminds me of my sister and I, because my sister and I, we were always at each other's necks when we were younger. We love each other now. I would not take anything in the world for her. But that's what we did. We beat up other people for each other. We beat up each other, but yeah, we are inseparable at this moment.
Yeah, that's how me and my brother are now as adults. But as kids, boy, we I was fighting for him, but I was also fighting him. Yeah. Even to this day, like he be telling me, like, Erin got them hands. Like, don't mess with her. Like, yeah, I'm 30, but I still got it.
Never left. That's the things that we need.
No, just like the
Hi guys. So also tell me about the neighbor. Just I'm not sure I'm digging into the book because I want people to still come read the book.
Yeah.
But the neighbor that you guys always went to our house and she had ice cream with snacks for you all.
Oh yeah. I don't even know that lady name. I don't know her name. Me and my brother, we would get home from school and we'd go to this lady house. She had toys, snacks, and we'd just be chilling there like that was our grandma or something. And then what happened? I remember street lights came on. We wasn't home yet, and my mama was yelling our names, and put some fire under our tails, and we got home. But that was the type of neighborhood that we lived in when I was younger. It was a really good neighborhood. Everyone knew everyone. Everyone got along. My mama worked 3 jobs to keep us in that neighborhood, so I never seen my mom, but it was cool. Yeah.
And for those who don't know about the street lights, you get in the house before the street lights come on. And you can't get in the house a second after the street lights come on because it's over. But that's just for safety measures because the fact that people still are crazy. And
crazy ain't the word.
You want to protect your kids as much as you, I don't know if to say can't, but as much as you think that you are, as much, because those kids are your kids.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I would not let them go out and be like, oh, just come home. But now, this day and age, no, absolutely not. No.
I remember when I was younger, and my parents used to always say me that when the street lights come on, you better be in that house.
In the house.
And I was like, why? Because don't worry about the why. Just be in that house.
Wait, you said why?
I always ask. I ask why.
Why?
The shoe, a belt, a switch.
Listen.
Exactly.
Listen, the belt almost came. But that's only because I only asked why one time.
Okay.
I agree with that.
The belt almost came. But it's like I always like to challenge it. Not challenge to in a way combat, but challenge to understand. Because if you're telling me something and it's a way where it's like you're trying to give me a direction, it's easier for me to follow along when I understand the purpose behind the direction. But of course, when you're young, you don't really quite understand the reasoning behind certain things. Now I understand. I was like, yo, you know what?
I get it. Yeah.
I was like, being home. Honestly, being home before lights come on, ain't even that bad. I actually want to be home all day. So
I let my kids question me now, but just don't do too much.
I think that's a good thing, though.
We have that respect for each other. Like even though I'm their mom, I apologize to my kids if I'm wrong. I let them ask questions, but
did that happen automatically, or was that like a process you had to get to?
I think it happened automatically.
Automatically?
Yeah.
Because I know there are a lot of parents who kind of have to adapt to being okay with being challenged. Because I know for a lot of parents, when you're challenged, it's seen as disrespect.
Yeah.
And it comes off like, this is something you shouldn't be doing because I'm the parent, you're the child, you do what I say.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it though. If my kids, if you talking to me crazy, you might get it backhand. But
True.
You can question me to a certain extent. Like I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So now I got a question. I got a question for you now that you said that. No, it's cool. It's a good question. Everybody understands when it comes to communication, how you communicate matters. Because there's always how it's delivered and how it's perceived.
Perfect.
The question I'm asking you too.
I'm
asking you to know because we got different generations here at the table. This is good. This is time for us to cook and eat.
Okay.
So my question for y'all is, in your heart of hearts, in your brains, when does what's being said take the importance or take more relevance than how it's said?
I think how it's said is most important. Period.
You think so?
Period.
Yeah.
Because if you're offended about something, if we don't agree about something, we can have that conversation, us as adults, and even me with my kids.
Yeah.
But if you talk to me crazy, that's where the disrespect comes in. I'm not having that. So I think it's always how you say it.
It's a difference in talking at somebody and talking
To somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there have been times, not just for me, but I know like experiences that I've witnessed. And when it's always easier to understand when you're the third party or the outsider looking in, where it's like, okay, I see you've been communicating to this person and it's not sticking.
Yeah.
And because it's not sticking, the same consequences or the similar consequences keep rising up or keep appearing, to the point where the person who's trying to deliver says, forget how I'm talking to you now, because I've tried talking to you how I talk to you, and it seems like it's not working.
So everyone always says communication is key.
Correct.
Communication is not key. Comprehension is key. Because I can talk to you all day long.
You're not
listening.
Yeah.
If I'm not listening to you, if we're just talking to you, like, we can communicate all day long, but we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
So comprehending what I'm saying, that's key.
Which is also goes back to how the message is being perceived is also very critical.
Yeah.
Because I could say something to you. I could say something in general, and both of you can take it two different ways.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because how it's perceived can come off and deliver a different type of message. And a lot of times where someone perceives a message negatively, that causes a lot more problems, because that is not being addressed.
When I finished my book, I thought my mom was gonna hate me, because I say a lot that's not rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and stuff. So I talk about how my perception of my mother at the time, yes, she had 3 jobs, she was working to keep a roof over our head, and but my perception was I never saw my mom. She's not there for me. She's not being a mom. Her perception, same situation, is I'm working my butt off so I can provide for my family.
Right.
So it's all about intent versus perception. Like, and people have different perception.
Intent is real. Perception is real.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you were saying, Kyle, about how the person doesn't hear or doesn't pay attention to what a person's saying.
Right.
Most of the time it's because they don't listen to hear, they listen to respond. Because they always have to have someone should say back in reference to what that person says to them, because they don't really want to hear what you had to say from the beginning.
Man, talk about it.
You know how I could be here all day talking about that conversation.
Talk about it.
We hear about that. We hear about Erin.
Listen, so as my mom was reading the book, she told me that she wrote in it as she's reading it. And if I'm talking about like just any type of situation, she'll write to defend herself. Like you just said, they listen to respond and listen to actually hear what I'm saying. So she was reading it and she was writing responses to that. And then towards the end of it, she erased everything. And she was like, I just want to hear you. Thank you. That's what I needed. I needed you to hear me. Now my dad on the other end called me and was like, I don't agree with this. And I'm like, I'm not arguing with you about my truth. We're not doing that. But thanks for your support.
Go mom for correcting herself.
Yeah, no, seriously.
No, that's real though.
That's big.
That's huge of her.
Yes.
I literally thought that we were gonna have a falling out. She was gonna hate me for the things that I said. But she read it, she listened to me, and all she can say is, this is your truth. I can't argue with you about your truth. It wasn't what she wanted, like these situations that I was in. Obviously, she didn't do it on purpose. She didn't hate me, but
it doesn't change the fact of what
these are facts.
Of how it made you feel.
These are facts, and I wrote about my feelings about the facts. So who can argue with me?
So would you say that, was it at 18?
Yeah.
That when you told your mom what happened, how old were you again?
18.
When you told her that, did you feel like you lost your voice at 18?
Did I feel like I lost my voice at 18?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. Because when I said something at 18, nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
When I said something at 18, the first thing out her mouth was I knew it. And that kind of hurt more than it actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you telling me that you knew your daughter was being molested hurt more than this grown man molesting me. So I was quiet for a while, and it was just awkward. Like, he was still around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have 2 other sisters by him. So it was just weird. But writing the book helped me, and I wish he could have been alive to read it. I wish you could have, you know, actually understand how you made me feel. I still smiled in front of him, was never rude to him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you hurt me.
So when your mom said that she actually wanted to listen to what you had to say in the book, did you actually feel like your voice came back?
Absolutely. 100%. When she told me that she written responses in it, I was just like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again. You don't hear me out. You're not. But then she told me she erased it and she wanted to hear me. I cried.
Yeah.
I was like, that's all I wanted was for you to hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, our relationship is amazing. Love her. Call her every day. Like, yeah, we're good. We're good.
And that's awesome.
How was the journey of forgiving your mom for the role that she played?
How was the journey of forgiving my mom?
How was that? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because that doesn't really get talked about at all.
Mm-hmm.
Normally it's just, this is what happened to me. This is how I am now. Done deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's deep. That's a deep question.
I'm coming with the deep questions.
Okay, the journey to forgiving my mom. Well, first of all, I'm a mom. And if I was ever put in this situation, like, I've learned from things that I've been through, obviously, but we all need grace. We all, like, God forgives us every single day. Like, no one is perfect. We all go through things. And I was talking to a pastor at one of the churches I used to go to, and we were talking about the relationship with my mom and how it was hard for me to forgive her.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard for me to just be all buddy with her. And I was gonna cut my mama off. Like, I was gonna cut her off, like, you're my mama, love you from a distance, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And she's like, what if God cuts us off every time we do something wrong? Mm-hmm. And there's no grace, there's no forgiveness, there's just, that's it. You messed up, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow. Okay, all right. To be a Christian is to be Christ-like. No, I'm not perfect, you know, but we have to extend grace. And once I did that, we're good. Like, it wasn't easy, but I put myself in her shoes, you know, and tried to see where she was coming from. Like I said, it's no excuse, the things that they go through as well. But, you know, he was beating her and raping her and trying to kill her and had her on drugs and, you know, all these different things that she was going through as well. So she didn't handle situations how she should have.
Yeah.
It is what it is now. I forgive you. I love you. And now we're moving past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you forgiven yourself?
Have I forgiven myself?
Yeah.
Have I forgiven myself? I think so. I'm still, it's a work in progress.
That's a good answer.
It's a work in progress, because a lot of things that were put on me, I was a kid and I had no choice. But some of the things I talk about, I did have a choice. And sometimes I made the wrong choice. And I don't have any regrets, because I've learned, I've grown, I've matured. But it's a hard pill to swallow. Like, dang, why did you do this? Or why did you put your, you know, just certain things. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I was married before. I know good and well I shouldn't have married that man.
Let's talk about it.
And I did. And then literally, the second I said I do, there was a voice in my head like, why do you just do that? Like, what are you doing? It was so backwards. I got married, got divorced, and then had a one-night stand with the ex-husband, and that's how my 4-year-old is here.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah. So, I mean, I love my babies. That's not, I love my babies. I'm glad they're here. But just like certain things is like, what are you doing? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
So it is taking me a minute to forgive myself. And I think, I don't know, like maybe once I do that, that's like complete healing.
Well, I mean, forgiving oneself is probably going to be a journey that's going to take a lifetime.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know even for me, on my own personal experiences, trying to forgive myself when, even like to the smallest things that trickle down to big effects, trying to forgive yourself for that is like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm. It is hard. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely one of the hardest things to forgive yourself. Yeah.
I think it's also because like the logic comes in. It's like, well, I could have done it like this, or I could have done it so differently. Mm-hmm. And we would have skipped all of this had I just do this or that, or yada, yada, yada. It's like, you can't really do that.
Everything happens for a reason too. So it is what it is.
And so, sometimes the reason is not for you. Sometimes the reason is for somebody else.
Oh, 100%. Because as an 8-year-old little girl, I'm like, I don't want to be molested. I don't want to have to go through this. But now I know as an adult, little girls are going through that. And I can help them 100% because I've been through there. Like, I've been through that. So, yeah.
So is there going to be another book? Is there going to be a second book?
Oh, sequel?
Is there a sequel?
Yes, for sure. But I don't know which direction I'm going in yet.
Okay.
I don't know which direction I'm going in. I kind of, spoiler alert, I kind of want to go in the direction of the childhood that I wanted. Like the healed little girl, the one who got to experience, maybe 2-parent households, maybe mother-daughter dates, daddy-daughter dates. Like, I'm thinking about maybe going in that direction. So obviously it'd be all fiction because that didn't happen, but I think that'd be cool.
I think that's fire.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, considering the amount that I've read, and then from what you're saying, it sounds like a complete, like, the yin and yang, one half, 100%. And then the other half is like complete opposite. So seeing the the word I'm thinking of is dichotomy, but thinking of the contrast between the two would make such great storytelling.
Yeah.
See, you're talking to my brain right now.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So what is one takeaway that you want the reader to get from reading a book?
One takeaway. To know God and to not give up on yourself. That's the main thing. Like, all the crap that I've been through, I didn't want to be here anymore. I wanted to take my life so many times. And now I'm good. Like, I want them to take away, things get better. Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end. Like, yeah.
Awesome.
That's so real.
No, for real.
That's so real.
Yeah. Because it's easy to be lifing.
Oh,
it's easy to, seriously. And people get stressed out, and it'd be the people that you would never expect to have a suicidal thought.
Yeah.
Or to be depressed, or to have anxiety. And the strongest people that it's like, I'm tired of being strong. Like, so I don't know. I just don't want people to give up on themselves. One of my friends from the military, she read my book and she said, after reading it, it made her want to continue to fight for her life because she was dealing with the suicidal thoughts and she wanted to check out. And she was like, if you can go through all that and you're still standing and you're still smiling, I can do it too. I said, that's why I wrote the book.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote the book. So I'm happy.
I believe you changed so many lives with this book.
Thank you. The reviews are amazing.
The reviews have been hitting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Amazing.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first learned that you wrote the book and you self-published it,
Mhm.
I bought it simply just to support you. I was not even gonna pick it up. I'm gonna be that ass.
That's
But I actually did take the time to read a chapter, and then I started reading the second chapter, and then the third chapter, and I was like, I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
Some people were mad at me. Like some people were mad, especially like in the first couple chapters, I picked myself apart, things that I really hated about myself. And one of my closest friends called me like, you feel this way about you? Like, what's wrong with you? I was like, yeah, I used to.
That's the point.
But you have to pick yourself apart and know to put the puzzle pieces back
For
together.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So I had to love myself. Because I didn't love myself. I didn't like what I looked like. And they're like, oh, you're so beautiful. And people tell me that all the time, but I didn't feel that.
Mhm.
Like, thank you for the compliment, but it's in one ear and out the other because I didn't feel that way about myself. So, yeah, people were shocked. Like, what?
No, I believe it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you say there was a life lesson that you had to learn by writing the book that you didn't think you would learn, that you either didn't think you would learn or you just didn't realize about?
To walk in my truth.
Mm.
That was the life lesson. To walk in my truth because I used to care what people said about me. I used to care, like, my ex thought it was okay to bring up the fact that I was molested in an argument. Like, that's why he was touching on you and da da da. And I just was like, and stuff like that used to hurt my feelings. But if I walk in my truth, I know who I am. I know whose I am. You can't say anything. You can't, like, I'm gonna walk with my head held high, my shoulders back, and my entire life is in this book.
Yeah.
My entire life, like, and it's heavy, but it's not even everything. It's not everything. Like, people, the one negative review that I got, she called me and she's like, everyone don't need to know your business. And that was out now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Okay, like, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm literally an open book. And that's okay with me. It's fine.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Erin, it's been a blessing to have you share the room with us and just to talk about your life experiences and your book.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're already looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Definitely thank you for sitting down with us. This was an eye-opener
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. But
For sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it, y'all.
Yeah.
So, another question.
Oh my Lord.
No, it's simple. It's a simple question. It's a simple question. Why are you looking at me like that?
Again, I'm anticipating the question.
What would be the main platforms for people who have not read the book yet, or probably just not hearing about you?
Mm-hmm.
What would be the main ways for them to not only find you, but also find the book themselves?
So to find the book, you can go on lulu.com. That's the publishing company that I went through. That's the one I prefer people buy it on. But, and it's LULU, but you can also get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. Really a lot of places where books are sold online. So Barnes & Noble doesn't have it in the store. They have it on their online. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can get it that way. And then for me, I'm Erin Lopez, Facebook, Instagram. What's my Instagram? Erin XO, and then 2 underscores. This is my Instagram.
There you have it.
But just to repeat, the main platform is
The main platform that I would like people to purchase on is Lulu.
okay.
It's LULU.com. And then you can just search the book in their bookstore and get it that way. But a lot of people like Amazon because it's quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it's fine. I didn't really do it just to do it to help you.
But the money's good though.
Money is good.
The money's good though.
Money
I'll
is
tell
good.
I appreciate you, Erin.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more question. I know I always say I got one more question. No, I'm not gonna kid you. A lot of my big questions come after I say I got one more question. So I'm just like, yo, I'm about to call. He's like, yo, we gotta talk about this more because I got some stuff. I got some questions I need to
5
ask.
more questions.
5.
Well, let's drop it to 1 right now.
Okay.
Can you sign my copy?
Come on, Erin.
Hey, you get that in there. Yeah, sign up for me, Miss Celebrity. We gotta get you a table. We gotta get you a tablecloth with "Call Me Crazy," but at least he called on it.
Oh, a
She needs
table.
to step and repeat behind her and everything.
You have all the copies. Just standing there saying, "Hey, thank you for reading my book."
So share it on your page to get your people to get it. Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
That's dope.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome
it.
so much.
I appreciate it.